All right, boys, it's 5:54. I got about 5 minutes before I gotta get up in here. Um, Woke up, honestly, like ready to kind of go. Weird. Only got about 5.5 hours worth of sleep, which isn't ideal, but it was. And I drank a little bit last night. If you guys couldn't tell, it's fucking all over the place. I didn't really have that much to drink though. I had like 2 beers and 2 shots, pretty much, in mixers, in the Sprite or whatever. Anyways, besides the point, we're gonna get up in here. We're gonna get our workout in. Plan is to be home by at least 8 o'clock. I think we'll be home a little bit earlier than that. Shower, eat breakfast, and then today is going to be a big one of refining the face and the script. Have a meeting with my client at 9:30 my time. So we're gonna meet with her, talk about the next what's going on with the project and everything, and and everything like that. So I'm gonna get in here though. I'm gonna get my workout in, and I will see you guys a little bit later on in the day. Maybe even after my meeting with my client. So I will see you guys then. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I need to get better at the vlog of actually showing you guys what I've accomplished and stuff. So this stuff's gonna be extremely important. So going forward, this is what I want to start doing, and I'm gonna start incorporating it into my calendar and trying to get better at it. But I'm pretty sure you guys can see my screen right now. This is the fucking monstrosity that I kind of built today. One thing I want to kind of highlight. I put this on the whiteboard right here. But essentially what I did is I kind of like laid out, and don't mind the pimple right here, dude. I have this fat ass pimple on my face, it's pissing me off. But by the way, guys, I just wanted to also kind of say this before we get into this. Today I want to say that I'm proud of myself for pushing through. It was very, very, very exhausting day. I was very tired. 5.5 hours of sleep. Not to say that that's not enough, but more used to seven, 7.5, 8. But I really pushed it. I pushed through. I did not want to work today. I did not want to get this work done. I did all this, and I felt like I did it well, and I just kept going. And there was a lot of times where I wanted to quit. There were, it took me a little bit longer. I'm probably gonna finish around 8:30. I was supposed to finish around 7:37. So I was taking breaks throughout the day, but we got here, and that's what matters. And I'm coming up on 10 hours. I got about 20 more minutes until then. So I wanted to record this video for you guys. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I'm proud of myself today for pushing through, and we just got to keep it up. But I had a great gym session today. I woke up, got out of bed, quick, got to the gym before 6 o'clock. Just very, it was a very good day. It was very on point. Today was a win. Mentally and physically, it was just a win. So one thing I did though was I met with a client today. Like I said, that went well. Everything like that went well. It was a busy day to an extent, but essentially I focused on what I have here on my screen, as well as there's a couple of other minor adjustments to the system, but also just kind of reflecting a little bit. So for version 1, when I divide the system up into different segments, like how it is on the visual overview. So with that face, that version 1 face, which is not this one, this is V2, I rated everything on a scale of 1 to 10 through confidence. And so my confidence in the face was a 3 out of 10. And I'm just going to go down the list. So the callback request system was a 9 out of 10. The callback request system is extremely simple. I'm not too worried about that. I did elaborate a little bit on that today by creating more bots and then having each bot for different things, so we can prioritize certain callbacks over others. But then also so there's that. I just wanted to be more specific with the callback system, and I might switch it back. I don't know yet, but That's what I did today with the callback system. Now everything else I didn't change. So, like I said, the callback request system, 9 out of 10. The brain, the check availability, I would say it's about a 7 out of 10. It's just a really, really hard system. It was a really hard system to build. It's very complex, and it's got a lot of custom coding that I vibe coded. So when it comes to shit breaking, I'm a little less confident about going in there and fixing it. However, I can just vibe code with Claude again. It's not a big deal. I'm just saying. Another thing is it's pulling. It's not pulling from the actual calendar in itself. It's cross-referencing with the calendar, but it's just pulling 15 nearest available slots. So if we were booked out, it would be a little bit tougher. Is what I'm saying. Now that's what I'm just saying that will probably have to be adjusted in the future for sure. So that's one thing I see in the future. If we get extremely busy, then that might be one of the components that breaks. That's what I'm saying. But the calendar agent 8.5. I could realistically put that in a 9 or a 9.5. I'm fairly confident in it. There's a couple of things in there that I don't necessarily like, but that's why I gave it an 8.5. So I think it could be better, but it's pretty good for what it is. The drive time estimator, that one I put at an 8 out of 10. Pretty confident about that one. It does its job. It does its job well. I put it at an 8. I'm not too confident on like the back end part of it. Um, with if there's an event later, it's just the conflicting events is the problem. But when it comes to calling on the API and getting accurate data and being able to actually take that point from a point, very confident. I also kind of tested it today and gave it a random address that I didn't even know if it was legit in Austin. And it seemed like it grabbed an address that was relatively close that symbolized that address, which gives me hope for if the agent transcribes the address a little bit wrong, that it'll still be able to make that rough driving time estimate pretty accurate, which I think was pretty cool. Um, Data storage and formatting for make.com, I give that a 9.5. Very confident on that. Pretty simple. And then the Jobber integration, I would say I would give it a 9 out of 10. I'm pretty with the straight data formatting and everything like that. I think I'm pretty good to go. I'm not too worried about it. Um, One thing, so now we're going on to V2, right? Now, actually, no, we're not, because I don't have anything for it yet. However, tomorrow I'm going to be testing this, getting it ready, and maybe we'll even go over my calendar today. But so the face, this V2, I mean, I'm feeling from a 310 or 3 out of 10. I think that's going to go from a 3 out of 10 to an 8, an 8.5, or potentially even a 9. Not trying to give anything a 10 yet, obviously, because haven't tested it with live callers. Once I do that, then I'll give it a 10. Now, real quick, guys, I just want to go dive into this. I'm not going to dive into this too heavy, but essentially, did not format this with the auto layout. The auto layout would fuck this thing up, and it would look so different. But essentially, what I try to do is up here is the new installation. This is the emergency. This is the standard booking. This is if the conversation, like, they just don't fall into any of these buckets right here. It kind of maps them out. If they qualify, or if they're calling for their business and not their home, then it's going to route them down here. And most of this stuff is going to be still being transferred to our staff while handling, the new installation replacement as well as the standard bookings. The emergency bookings and the commercial bookings are going to be going, and then admin questions like billing and stuff like that are, for right now, they're going to go to our team. However, I feel like in the future, one thing that I've been that I want to experiment with is this right here, the agent transfer. Today, I really learned a lot about the logic split node, and also just like refining these inside of them. But we can even see like our tokens and our latency are still extremely low. I kept this global prompt to like a very like minimal, and honestly, the agent works really well. So I gave it context so it knows what it is. But other than that, the tonality and everything like that, I'm putting that into the nodes. It doesn't really have too much of a knowledge base other than price, which it drops after it gets through the conversation if it needs to drop it. And the only thing that's like left blank in here is the SMS, just because the SMS isn't necessarily like um, it's not really done yet. Like we don't have the ability, we aren't compliant with. I don't know if we're not A2P compliant, but I just know that the my client is working on getting A2P compliant. So we'll see where that goes, and I'll be able to send those text confirmations and things like that. But we have our global node here, which if they ask to talk to a human, it goes here. A lot of this stuff is also just callback requests, if anything. But eventually, I would love to, make this. I think V3. This is the goal is for V2 to get some initial proof that this thing can book calls, right? And then for V3, it's going to start to be having that admin conversation or that admin agent with the knowledge base, and they can forward it to that agent, and then being able to forward it to the commercial agent, and just having these separate agents to keep this latency pretty low and these tokens pretty low, and not overcomplicating this, but then also just being able to transfer it to a couple of different agents that we have on our team that have specializations and might be a multi-prompt, a singular prompt, a conversational workflow, and then they'll be able to highlight those things a little bit better. So for instance, somebody calls in and they say, I need to manage my account. Okay, we go to a multi-prompt agent, or we go to a single prompt agent that specializes in account management, and it just pulls data from the account and makes the adjustments that it needs to make, and then that's that. So that would be a really cool thing that I would love to see. V3, V4, with the face anyways. So that would be a really cool feature, and I think that would make this worth a lot. Now, another thing that I wanted to say when I talked to my client today is I learned that the people, like these people that I'm working for, they are very knowledgeable. They're in the game, and I have a lot of faith in them to be able to deliver on the marketing and the operation side. So it makes me want to work even harder on my end. Another thing is that they have a lot of connections that I'm hoping to be able to be a part of, and be able to, I don't want to say capitalize on it in the sense of using, but to capitalize on, and be able to grow this business and make some money. And it's just really good. I hope that they see and appreciate the amount of work that I'm putting into this, because I genuinely am really trying to make this system the best I can possibly make it. And I'm not doing it to get things back, but I am doing it for a purpose. And I'm willing to do the work, and I'm willing to do it for free. But I hope that it'll be reciprocated. But I don't want to. I'm not owed anything, but one can hope. But anyways, it's besides the point. This is the flow. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, guys. I'm really fucking tired. Um, I'm also gonna have to test this and shit tomorrow. So I mean, it might not look anything fucking like this tomorrow. It might not. But I just wanted to say that I am proud of myself. I didn't think I was gonna get this far into it today. I really didn't. I started this shit from scratch, like from zero. Worked on it all day today, and I can just say I've tested two of the workflows, or two of the flows so far. The emergency and the standard flow. So these ones right here in the middle, and they flow phenomenally, and they are 10 times better than what it was in V1. And V1 is what's live right now. So I probably will do another video where I really dive deep on this, and maybe even do another video where I like give some tips and tricks on retail AI. I don't know yet. I mean, like, I don't think I'm in a position to be giving tips and shit. I'm still learning tips myself. However, I do think I have good insight on the software. So if you guys want that, leave a comment. Now, real quick, I want to go into a little bit of this, if you don't care. So we're just going to go into this a little bit. So this is kind of like the Layla or Mosey style time blocking that I learned from one of our podcasts. And essentially what it kind of does is, like, obviously I'm time blocking out everything. Now things have changed already where I've moved around things. For instance, we're not going to be open Wednesday. I had my work here on Wednesday. Moved over to Thursday. Things like that. Things change, right? I'm not gonna. My thing is that today I said to myself, I'm not gonna live and die by the calendar. I know some people that serves them best, and maybe some days it will, but um, it's like, did I really take my lunch break at 2 p.m.? No, I took it a little bit earlier. That's fine. Um, I'm just saying I don't live and die by the calendar. I'm not going to be a slave to the calendar, but it's a good tool so that when I'm like, hey, what should I be doing right now? I should be doing that, you know. And then when I want to have fun, I would be able to block something out to at least put that time aside for the things that I want to do that are quote unquote fun and aren't work. To just basically keep me disciplined in the sense of I said I was going to be at work today. I'm going to be at work, So I think my goal this week is like genuinely, I would love to try my best to kind of make up that time that I missed out on. So if I could get 45 hours, 50 hours potentially in, that would be awesome. So, I mean, that also just comes with like reading the playbooks. But real quick, guys, I know I'm taking a lot of time. I don't want to take a lot of time. So one thing, here obviously we worked on the system all day long. Um, I just I had my call, but other than that, yeah, I mean it was just all day work. Now tomorrow I'm gonna have probably a couple hours worth of testing to do. I'm gonna run to the bank, in the store, go to the gym. Had a great gym session today. Store. I'm gonna buy in a couple of things. It is what it is. Bank, deposit some money. Then I got bills to pay on Wednesday. It's gonna be the first, so got a bunch of bills to pay. It's totally fun. Be working on that system. Gonna be really diving deep into these playbooks here so that we can create these custom GPTs, make our custom GPT video, but then use the custom GPTs for the offer and marketing playbook. Um, this is going to be my golden goose, hopefully, and maybe even eventually, like what I could do is take these GPTs to an extent and help people generate these playbooks for themselves, with resources and stuff like that. So that maybe that could be a potential even lead magnet, which would be maybe actually a fire as lead magnet, low key. That kind of just came to me. So maybe we'll do something like that. Whatever. Stick to the plan though, but kind of a cool idea though. I mean, imagine if somebody could just put in some stuff and then get an entire marketing playbook, and it's like actually good. Like it's not bullshit. You know what I mean? So, um, the content idea and brainstorming. I just wanted to brainstorm this a little bit before I had to work on Friday. Um, but then I have my ChatGPT how to tips video on Saturday. This is what I want to record, edit, and everything like that. So, 2 videos coming out this week. I want to start really diving deep into these and providing value in the sense I'm starting to practice and getting better, and just making them as good as possible. And then I just have work. So it's nothing too crazy, guys. I think it's extremely doable. Like I said, everything's pretty much is in here. I just kind of separated from the brain the callback request. So the callback request kind of look like this now. It's just 5 different ones. So we have emergency, air, commercial, admin, and potential. So that's these. Obviously, like the most important would be like emergencies, commercial, be the top two. I think air and admin. I think air would be third. Admin would probably be fourth, and then fifth would be potential. Now, like I said, though, these can be replaced with other voice agents in here. So that's kind of the goal eventually. But one thing I wanted also, real quick, I want to show you guys. I use this ChatGPT. This is just a regular chat, but I want to show you guys what I did. I think this is extremely important, and I think a lot of people talk about this. But when you're prompting ChatGPT, I always start with the context. Like, what are you? So you are an inbound HVAC call expert, right? Your job is to help. So then I give its job. So what's the context? What is your job or your purpose? Your job is to help me with creating a conversational flow inside of Retail AI. We will be going through our buckets node by node. So we're going to be going by our categories node by node with the goal of creating the best AI receptionist voice agent for an HVAC company. So this is the goal too. Another purpose goal. One thing that I could have done maybe even a little bit better, and this is, you want to give it like you are the best in the world, and this is extremely important. So those are two things as well. I picked up from Liam Ollie. Still feel like I should rewatch those videos, but it's a lot to retain. But as you do it, I feel like you just start to retain it more as you start to do it. But I want you to do research on how we can have the highest conversion rate possible. So that's another goal. But do this research for the highest conversion rate possible, as well as I want you to use Retail AI's documentation. So I'm giving it a source of information I want it to be pulling from when I ask specific Retail AI questions. Do you have any more questions about your role or purpose? And then he kind of reiterates it to me, right? The goal, everything like that. And this to me sounded pretty good. Um, you know what I mean? So, like, we'll take each bucket of calls and then it reiterated it. So, like, I knew that it knew what I was talking about when I came to buckets and everything like that. So, um, that's why, like, when so it's just like, that's what I would say is, if it asks you some questions and you can clarify it further, then that's going to make the LLM even smarter and work better for you. And then on top of that, it just reiterated exactly what I needed, which was fantastic. And then I just really got into it. And now, guys, I'm not saying you don't just obviously you don't just copy and paste everything into ChatGPT, but what I am saying is that I use this thing a lot today, obviously, as you guys can see, and a lot of it too. I think my success with this so far is a lot of this is just like this. It's not prompted like crazy like this, or that's not even one example, but it's like when you're collecting information, I really went deep into this prompt like this, like doing it in raw markdown, giving it style, giving it, hard rules, everything like that. But when it comes to like just kind of saying something, I just kind of gave it, this pretty basic thing. I mean, it's still a prompt. And even the static sentences actually surprised me, where if the user says something, it doesn't just say the static sentence again. It genuinely thinks and just says something along the lines, which is fantastic. So, like I said, and then also with the logic here between emergency and standard, when you go in here and you fine tune examples and you just give it examples, this has made it extremely better. And while just not even include, it's just not hurting that latency. Honestly, this agent is fucking fast. I'm just letting you guys know right now, it's fucking fast. I was surprised because when I first did my live demo and I listened back to it, like there was kind of like a pause when I was talking to the agent, but because Descript takes out those pauses, it kind of sounded like it was, good cadence. And then this one though, I'm telling you guys, it's legit. It's a legit system. So, anyways, like I said, learned a lot today. Proud of myself. Sorry this was a little bit longer of a vlog. Wanted to show you guys, the schedule. Well, happy Monday. I want this to be. I want to get better at the vlogs. I want to provide more value for you guys. I want to, I want to be great. So, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Please leave a comment if you guys even watch these. Not to say it's free it's more for me, but that's fine. But one day we'll look back on these and we'll be like, wow, it's crazy. So, all right, I will see you guys tomorrow, 5:30, 6 o'clock at the gym. Peace.